Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing an update to a video that I did over a year ago, just over a year ago, where I was talking about how I budget my salary as an analyst. I'll leave the video thumbnail here for you guys to go check it out, and I'll try and put the cards in if I remember as well. So today we're going to be doing an update to that video because a lot has changed since then, salary wise and just like expenses wise as well. But also some things haven't changed. Your girl is still living at home and your girl still does not have a car. So just like the other video, I'm only going to be discussing how I budget my salary that I get paid and not like any of the income that I make under my businesses. So in the title, there will be some number there. It's probably close to what I earn, but obviously I don't know, there's this whole thing where you can't say what you earn, so I won't be saying that, but I'll put a number that's like roughly close to it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. And also guys, if you are making applications to banking or any other like grad schemes or internships, stuff like that, don't forget to check out the resource bank for resources that can help you. And we also have our amazing career coach Vera Okoji. You can check out the video that we did together here to learn all about like just her extensive history of just like so many different industries, and you can book her to be your career coach. So I will leave that in the description. Let's get straight into it. Last year when I did this, there was 26%, so about a quarter of my income was going towards taxes, right? And this is like my monthly income, the gross amount, 26% of that was automatically being deducted. In that video, which is so good, like I was watching it the other day, I was like, oh, this is actually a really good video. In that video, I basically give you a breakdown of like what income tax is and what NI is. So I would definitely go and check that out. This time around, you guys, just guess how much you think, how much of my income you think is going towards taxes. Last time I asked you guys to guess on, I think it was how much I made on YouTube last year. Some of you guys came pretty-ish close, some was quite far. But it's a good 35% of my gross pay is tax. Actually, not all of it is tax. 22%, I think it's like 22.2% is income tax. So you guys, sorry if the setup has changed a little bit. This is literally a few hours later, but there's a clip that I thought I recorded, but I didn't. So what I really wanted to do is also explain how like taxation works in the UK. So there are like 4 tax brackets. So there's like up to, if you're earning up to like 12,500 a year, then you don't pay any taxes. That's like the personal allowance. And then if you earn between 12,550, currently it's like 50,270 pounds, then your tax bracket, you're in the 20% tax bracket, which means that everything you earn over the 12,500 personal allowance is taxed. So not the whole 50K, if that was your salary, just what you earn above that personal allowance will be taxed. So that tax bracket is 20%. And then if you earn between 50,270 pounds and 150K, you're taxed 40%. And if you earn over 150,000 pounds a year, then you are taxed 45%. So that's why the taxation, because even, I don't even, how much was the income tax? It's like 22%, I think it was like 22% I said. Even though I'm in the 40% tax bracket, it comes up to like 22%. 7.5% is what's it? It's not national insurance. What's NI stand for? And then the other 5.4% is student loan repayments. Now I didn't have student loan repayments when I last made this video. So 35%, guys, I don't even see. Like I can't, like it's gone. And it's so funny because when I was younger, I was like, yeah, tax the rich, yeah. And now I'm just like, tax the rich, but the rich, the 1%, not the 5%, the 1%, because us over here, we still broke. No, honestly, like I think I've definitely been a beneficiary of, you know, taxes. We kind of see where it goes in this country. You know, we have free healthcare. Those of you who've got like benefits, free school meals, even just like getting maternity leave and stuff like that. Loads of our benefits goes towards that. So I'm not complaining, but I am. 35% of that is gone. So let's just wipe that out of it and let's just focus on the net pay. We're gonna bring that up to 100%, and I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how I have decided to like budget that out. So in my last video, my fixed expenses were £30. Okay, £30. It was like £8.99 or £7.99 for Netflix inflation, hello. Netflix is now £10, £9.99. Sorry, but that £2 is a lot, you know. That's like 20% inflation on the price of of Netflix. £8 on Netflix and like £22 on my phone contract bill. Those are like my fixed, as in like my direct debit expenses. But now that number has gone up by like 10 times. But I think as well, like, it's not, because you know, you just have to, like, you have to watch your finances for lifestyle inflation. But then I also kind of subscribe to lifestyle inflation in some other ways, which I'll get into a little bit later. But let me just give you guys the breakdown of the fixed expenses and like how I'm budgeting for them. Netflix is £10 now. I'm joking, I don't know why I'm complaining. It's like not even 1% of the net pay. Transport is around 1%. I think it's less than 1%, but I never paid transport before because we were working from home, because we were like the thick of the pandemic, because I graduated during the pandemic. So when I started work, I was working from home, but now I'm paying like 50, 60, £70 a month on transport, and I don't even live far from work. I even walk to the station as well. But yeah, but that's a cost that's just like, okay, fine. Then I have like contributions at home, which is like 4% of that net pay. The one thing that is like very, very new and has like significantly increased my fixed expenses is I now pay for a PT, and I also pay for gym membership. I only see the PT like once a week, but it's £45 per session. So now I'm paying like £221 a month for PT. But if you guys watched my goals video that I made at the end of last year, and I was just like, the start of this year or end of last year, I don't know, and I was kind of like reflecting on like how I did last year, blah blah blah. Again, I'll leave the thumbnail here, definitely go watch that video after. One of the things that I mentioned that I like every single year that I just don't put enough effort into, and I don't try to improve enough and consistently enough, is like health and fitness. I think it's around 6% of my net pay, but I'm really, really happy to make that, because that is a goal that I really want to achieve, and it kind of just shows that I am making that change towards what I said I wanted to make a change towards. Because one thing that I think this was actually from like a sermon, Transformation Church, and Pastor Mike was basically saying that like, where your treasure is, there your heart is also, which kind of is just like, if you look at your finances, right, what are you spending your money on? Because that will kind of tell you what you value. And like the previous years, I was spending nothing on gym and fitness, or like health and fitness, because I didn't really value that. So now I'm trying to put my money where my mouth is. And then if you move on to like my variable expenses, I have two main ones. One is food. That kind of goes hand in hand with like gymming more, like I need to eat more, but also like going into the office, yeah, it adds a lot of cost to things, because I get breakfast. I could cook at home, but we're not going to. So I get breakfast and I get lunch. Yeah, I don't really get dinner anymore, because like now my work life is a bit better, so I can get home for dinner, but sometimes I even still get dinner on my way home. But again, I don't mind this cost. And it also includes as well, did I say how much it was? It's like £200 is the budget. £200 is the budget. It also includes like the cost of me, like let's say if I go to eat out with my friends, I'm going to eat out with my friends today. It also includes that. But in general, I don't mind spending out on food, because as I'm doing more, I need to eat more. But like, I just get really fed up of food. Like, I don't, you know, there are people who just like love food, love eating. I don't really understand it. Like, I feel like food is such a chore. Like even just the chewing, it's just like, why is this taking so much effort to just chew this? Spend more money on like the food that I actually like, so that I can eat more quantities of it. So I'm okay with that. I know someone's gonna suggest meal prepping, and I don't really meal prep, but I do meal prep. Like when I cook, I will like bulk. And then I spend like £240, it's around 6% of the net pay on like personal care. So that's my nails, that's my hair, it's my lashes, which are falling out. But yeah, and that is something that I just do to make myself just feel good. I need to expense a lot more of those costs through my business. Yeah, I do. But as someone who's on camera all the time as well, like you do kind of want to present yourself. Not even present yourself, it's kind of like for example, like this is off topic, but lashes. Do you know how long it takes to put on lashes? That alone will make me not want to record. And I've also like budgeted like a little bit of a buffer. So on a good month, I'll be able to save around 75% of my income, which is quite good. I think that's quite, not even quite good. I know it's quite good. But again, like I still live at home. I don't have a car. And I feel like those are the two biggest expenses for most people. Although I am someone who likes to save and likes to invest, I also don't want to be one of those people who are like aggressively saving to the point that they just don't enjoy life and live life. That's not the philosophy that I subscribe by. Actually, one of my subscribers, I think her name is Esther Shea, she we were just talking over DMs, and she mentioned the phrase FIRE, like financial independence, retire early, and basically giving the example of people who like live super frugally so that they can retire early. I'm all for retiring early and stuff, but I'm not gonna live in a way that's like uncomfortable to me, and I'm not gonna like not enjoy the fruits of my labor because I want to retire at some point down the line. For me, the only way that I can do that is to increase my income so that I can be comfortable to live like a comfortable life that I'm actually still enjoying. I can still do the things that I love, but then also be able to save quite a bit as well. So that's my philosophy. On a good month, I hope to save around 75%. But the reality of that is that there's a lot of things that aren't factored in here. If I wanted to go on a holiday, if it's someone's birthday, blah, 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 it would definitely be dipping low. The last time I made this video, I was saving around 80%, but we were living in a very different world then, and also like my income has grown, I have grown. But I think though, because what I really wanted to see is like if I was giving into lifestyle inflation, and so then 80%, now like 75%. What I wasn't paying back then also is student loans. So I feel like if it was the same, if I wasn't paying student loans now, I think I'd still be doing the same. I don't think I'm like giving myself into lifestyle inflation. If you guys found that somewhat useful, I definitely would recommend you to watch the one I did last year, because there's a lot of information there on student loans, whether you should be making student loan repayments. I'm really happy for student loans to be taking the amount that they're taking, and I'm still like overpaying as well. Like every quarter I choose an amount that I want to pay back, because I explain it in that video, but essentially for certain people, especially if you're classified as a high earner, you will pay back that full amount of the loan plus the interest, and so it benefits you to try and pay it down as quickly as possible. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here, because the content here is good. Like, you know, the content here is good. Definitely follow me on Instagram, and also follow Fitzy on Instagram. We have been posting every single day, and I feel like I'm really able to like share the things that I want to share, and like the stuff that I'm reading, the stuff that I'm doing on that page, whereas my Instagram is just like behind the scenes of my life and stuff. But in terms of like content and things to help you grow and develop when it comes to like motivation, inspiration, productivity, goal setting, that all happens on Fitzy, so definitely follow that. And then if you are doing your applications and stuff, I would definitely check out the resource bank and the services with Vera, because she has experience across all different industries. I'm talking corporate law, investment banking, fintech, and tech at the biggest like of those firms. So yeah, and I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.